I think you do have like the highest profile of the workaholics guys. I mean, you've done, you've been in other projects outside of there that have a lot of notoriety. Is there competition among you guys, or was there, like, as it kind of went on, was it like so-and-so's getting more,
No.
Andrew's is getting more attention than me,
No, and I mean, I think we're like brothers, so like there's some, like, we're like a band, I feel. Like that's how we explain it. And there's fighting, but it's never really about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like the Hollywood stuff. We usually keep that out of I probably have the biggest ego out of all of us, and I'm not that crazy. So like I'm the egomaniac out of the four of us,
right.
but I
And
also my ego's also in check.
But
so
you've also been around some egomaniacs.
Oh yeah,
some
I'm
real
like,
true.
I'm not. I'm like, guys, I'm not that bad.
Oh yeah.
I'm not that bad.
There's lots of people in this town that make you feel like, oh yeah, okay, I'm not a monster.
Yeah.
Anytime I think I'm a monster, all I got to do is remember that person.
And who is that person?
Conan O'Brien.
He pitched me. Look at the scars. Look at that.
Yeah. He has me on a buzz collar. He zaps it whenever he feels like. When you started to get acting roles outside of where you just come in and say the words, like how do you like that as opposed to the things where you get to be a producer and a writer on things?
Yeah, it's it's way easier, and sometimes it's nice to come in and just be like, if you like the project, you're comfortable with the people, you think that whoever's steering the ship is doing a good job, and you're confident in their abilities, then it's fun.
Yeah.
And every once in a while you'll sign on a thing and you're like, oh, you get halfway into it and you're like, oh no, this is a sinking ship. What did I do? But I would say for the most part, as long as you did the due diligence of really vetting everything before signing up for it, I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But it is way
more
more
really good. The Righteous Gems, being on the Righteous Gemstones, that's an easy.
It was an easy.
That's
yes.
the easy one.
And
all the Pitch Perfect movies, it's like you get to be really, really funny, but you don't have the burden of
leading it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, especially with the Gemstones, it was like. Danny McBride was such a hero of mine. Early on when we were doing sketch comedy, we got a copy of Foot Fist Way.
Yeah.
And I remember we watched it and we were like, oh, and not to take anything away from Danny and Jody Hill who directed it, but it was like, it felt like something that we could do. It felt like it was obtainable.
Yeah, no.
When Will Ferrell and those guys, like, it felt, since they're doing these big characters and that's not really what we did, it didn't feel obtainable.
Right.
So that was an easy one. But with with Pitch Perfect, it was like a conversation I had with the guys. It was I got offered it, and I came to the guys. I'm like, yeah, they offered me this movie, and it was after I think we were shooting season 2 at the time.
Yeah,
and I'm like, yeah, I'll shoot this like right after season 2 wraps. And I gave this script to Blake and Durs, and Durs read part of it, and he's like, dude, I think you're gonna do really, really well in this. It feels like you could just be really funny and not, like you said, not have the burden of carrying the whole damn thing. And then Blake came into my room late that night. We were working, and he's like, man, you can't do this. You can't do this. And I'm like, what? And he's like, this is gonna ruin all of us. If you, like, we're on like the cool hit like comedy, culty comedy show, and you're gonna go like be a song and dance man. You're gonna be an acapella singer. And thank God I didn't take his advice.
Right. No shit.
Yeah, because that movie like truly changed my life. It's, I mean, you know how it is. It's Hollywood is a weird place where there's like gatekeepers.
Yeah.
And the internet has changed a lot of that, but there still are gatekeepers where in order to be in movies, someone has to let you in.
Yep.
And then once you're in, that movie has to be a hit, and then you have to be a shining light within the movie.
Yep.
So everything sort of just clicked into place at the right time.
Yeah.
And then after that, people were like, all right, he can be in movies.
How did he get in? Did Blake ever apologize or say?
He vehemently
still says to this day?
Does not remember this at all. He's like, dude, that didn't happen. I'm like, it happened. happened, Blake? And he's like, nah, that never happened. I'm like, bullshit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can, because I remember when that movie came out, I was like, acapella?
Yeah.
Like, who
You're
wants
like,
to see that? And then
stupid,
it's
click.
so funny. It's so, I mean, I was actually just going to, my fiance and I have a 3-year-old, and I was going to put it on because I was like, oh, she likes musical stuff. And then I was like, oh, yeah, but there's lots of filthy language in that, and like, so yeah, maybe.
That was the
Maybe
that's
she's not ready for Fat Amy or whatever.
That's what made me sign on to it. I was like, okay, well, it is really funny.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, thank God for it.